Okay, now.
He is the walrus.
It is his turn. Video, Chris.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Just when you thought it was safe to walk your dog, I emerge. How you doing?
Okay, Mr. Bestiality.
What is not safe about walking a dog with you around? What the fuck?
Keep thinking. Anyways.
It's like diet tonic water.
Diet tonic. Okay.
It
Here we
boggles
go.
the mind.
And you wanted more than I could.
What?
Tonic. Hang on.
Okay, topic.
Fuck shit. Fuck.
Okay, you don't need to sound like the coach off of
Copywriting.
No. That's not copyright. Because I'm not saying where I got it. Plus, it's Tourette's. You know, people have Tourette's.
You don't have Tourette's. You are not.
I don't have Tourette's, no, but I'm fucking weird.
You are. Oh my god. Shut up.
Make your fucking stomach, man.
I'm trying to, but you keep cutting me off.
I'll
prick.
cut your face off.
Do me the fucking favor. It's a curse. Okay. Topic for me.
I'm not touching it.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Here is what I need to make a remark about. First off, I'm going to tell everyone a nice big old surprise. I'm going to college soon. Finally, I'm getting my shit together. I'm going in for a psychology major. Procrastination for about 4 years, and the shit that happened in the between time, and my ex-girlfriend, fuck off. Second off, I would just like to say that the shit that I've gone through over the past few years has groomed my mentality to a certain perspective that fucks with me at times, but kind of keeps me streamlined with, you know, the way things go nowadays in society. You know, childhood trauma builds character. I'd say trauma nonetheless builds character if you're willing to face it. They're head bobbing.
Rubberneck.
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 Now play with your fact sticks.
I want to play with your fact stick.
Okay.
Why don't you two just cross swords and not look at each other?
Double Dutch router.
Can I please?
Can I finish?
Fucking assholes.
Yes.
But on that topic, what I have come across in my travels for the past 4 years of my life, you know, fleetingly trying to decide where I'm going to go, who I'm going to be, and what kind of man I'm going to make myself into. And single mothers, for the love of God, where the hell have you gone?
They're everywhere.
I'm talking about upstairs, you ass.
This house, there's no single mother upstairs. There are 2 mothers in this house, and neither of them are single, sir.
Sarah's a mother?
No, wait a minute. No? There's only 1 mother in this house.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anyway, well, there were 2. Now there's 1.
Okay, thank you for simple math. But,
one. Okay, continue.
what I mean by that is, when you go out on a dating circuit, you use Skype, you use Yahoo Messenger, you put yourself in yeah, these women put themselves in the quote-unquote dirty box, send pictures of their disgusting blue waffle hobby twats.
Blue waffle?
Yeah, blue waffle hobby
You've
twats.
received photos like this?
Strangely enough, yes. Which is when I would sign out of the chat.
What the fuck?
But anyways, if you're that desperate to get laid, try going to a bar, because your dignity is shallow enough to put your fucking nativity out on the internet for people to see and use as they please. So why not just admit to yourself that you're desperate for sex and go actually dip yourself into the fucking cesspool of the search, instead of broadcasting it for every Tom, Dick, and Harry to come across. What? And the sad thing is, single moms between the ages of 29 to fucking 38 are hounding guys my age up to about 26, looking for comfort, looking to feel young again. But the sad thing is, when you get that feel, you're fucking done. And all of these promises that you made, like we were talking about earlier with Candace's topic, I mean, women have a way of going about shit like that too.
Sum it all up, desperate housewives that are psychotic. and off the water.
Not necessarily desperate housewives. Some of these single mothers don't even fucking clean their own homes.
I don't know if you guys have noticed this in the last 2 videos, but he's not wearing a shirt.
No shit, Sherlock.
If my name was Sherlock, there might not be shit, but there's shit. My name's not Sherlock, sir.
And he'd be wearing a monocle.
And
Why?
a bowler derby.
Continue,
Again,
Mullins.
before we just digressed, my main thing is I don't see why younger girls desire older men whenever these older men with their mentalities step in for one-night stands, break their hearts, and leave them desiring the man they could never have. As well, why older women pursue younger guys and leave them wanting the love they could never find. It's a conundrum that a lot of relationships come across nowadays.
Big word, conundrum.
Fuck you.
You would.
Tie your hair up in pigtails again, I'll give you the lightsaber.
Skittles!
Cross-promotional promoting.
Cross-dressing.
No, cross-promoting.
Cross-promoting, cross-dressing, cross-things.
Cross things, nothing was crossed, sir.
Not yet!
Another thing I'd like to make a remark about is why in certain housing situations, whenever you're living with people, why it is a fucking difficulty for these people to understand that certain circumstances come across that no one fucking desires. You know, like say being laid off or fired for one. Number 2, like after being brought into the premise of being their son's roommate, why they'd all of a sudden flip their script and want you out of there whenever their son wants back into the home and he's being a whiny bitch. I mean, honestly, I've seen stoners in my day, and I seriously thought they represented the pride of the underdog in human society. But this motherfucker comes off to me as a beanpole that needs to change his diaper for once in about 6 years.
I don't have a diaper.
I'm not talking about you.
Ew.
Believe me, you were hooting earlier. I mean, I'm sure this man right here would have heard the squish if you were shitting yourself into pins.
You would know personally.
Fuck you, okay? The kind of shits a baby procures and a drunk procures are 2 different things.
Yeah, he just booted it.
He just did it again.
They're like, bang! Okay. Continue, Mullins.
Will do. Now, another thing I'd like to make a remark about with the time that I am granted here is I'm going to advocate getting stoned in this. We've already threw out cigarettes. Let's go ahead and advocate getting stoned. I am one of the few people that has had this battle with himself for about the past 3 years of my life, trying to come to terms with accepting the fact that I am a fucking pothead.
Yeah.
I don't care if I just publicly admitted it on the fucking internet. Who's going to arrest me? Who's going to throw me in jail? I mean, quite frankly, I have nothing to lose at this point. But, being that as it may, I'm getting my shit together. Weed has never stopped me. And quite frankly, I don't see what the big damage is that weed does in this world nowadays. People call it a gateway drug. I call it bullshit. You know what a gateway is for people that become pillheads? People that are behind the scenes in pharmacy technician positions that fill outrageous scripts for lower tabs, Percocets, Oxycontins.
Lower tab.
Okay, lower tabs, if you want to call it that. And then they give these scripts to people that look perfectly capable of functioning on their own without muscle relaxers, and then they deal this shit to your 15-year-old sons and daughters. Tell me I'm lying.
How can you tell by looking at something that they can function perfectly without muscle relaxers?
Let's see here.
And no mention of cerebral palsy.
I mentioned a cerebral palsy. Well,
Without a physical distortment or deformality.
well, that's just it. If someone walks in without a physical deformality or cerebral palsy, twitching, or other symptoms associated with what they're trying to file for their claim in a
Regardless.
disease.
Arthritis is not visible. Muscular dystrophy is not visible.
But the x-rays performed in the procedures to confirm such can be presented as evidence.
Yes, but you said physical appearance.
Well, very true.
Do you
Okay.
have the x-rays?
No. Then I guess a side point I ought to make on that one is it's a valid argument. Maybe what should be done whenever people apply for these scripts or have them filled is to provide evidence of their conditions there within.
I agree.
Thank you for bringing me out of that. before I made myself look like a complete ignoramus. So yes, I agree with that. But there again, when pharmacies will actually look deeper into the conditions and the credentials of the people wanting to fill these scripts, that's when you'll cut out drug dealers, when you'll cut out drug addicts.
Hi.
Or hypochondriacs. You know, that's another thing that gets me too. Some of these people put on elaborate facades, you know, placing themselves in the categorization of unable to work, unable to function, just to get a hold of the pills that they need to sell in order to do shit right. Now, some people I have seen do this for the right fucking reasons.
I know a couple people that
they are not what you would call drug dealers. They have a particular group of people that they deal with. They're of manageable ages. They're not being manipulated. They're not being influenced to continue a lucrative business. Their currency is just being influenced to help them pay bills and survive because, yeah, we've hit hard times. Maybe that's why people do the crazy shit that they do. But somewhere along the lines, the shit's got to stop. Otherwise, chaos is going to overtake everything, and there's just going to be no point to any kind of law and order.
Law and Order. Law and Order. Yeah, that's a funny topic.
Yeah, two words that emphasize one thing that cannot be ascertained completely within any physical, emotional, or apprehensible means whatsoever, and that is control.
Let me ask you this. Does anybody here know the fine line between does anybody here know the actual line between law and order and anarchy? Can anybody physically tell the fine line between law, order, and anarchy?
Law is a corrupt, unjust hierarchy.
Elaborate.
What's there to elaborate?
Confiscated drugs. Where do you think they go? Back home with what have you taken in FBI, police, whoever takes it, you know, it's not sitting in an evidence room.
Well, no, it's not.
No, I asked you to elaborate to validate your points.
Okay, what's his name? Rodney King? Who got beat by his cops?
Yep, Rodney King. Tyson's manager.
Yeah. Corrupt. Racism.
Oh, of course. There's when it comes to drug busts.
The hierarchy part, they control us with fear.
And
fear and misplaced representation.
And also
fear and misleading hopes.
And also at the same exact time, are they misleading us with fear and hopes of what have you? There's also those particular law enforcements that sit around and are the dirty ones.
Corrupt.
Thank you.
That's the same point he just made.
Right. That not only take the drugs home, but also sit around, watch an innocent man get the dog shit beat out of him, and just don't do any fucking thing about it. And then the good Samaritan that comes over and helps the person gets sent to prison. How does that work? Honestly, how does that work? How is that law and order? How is that justice? In my eyes, probably people would either agree or disagree with me, but that's a form of anarchy to me.
Basically, to sum it up in one small setting.